I usually want to go with a team that I think is going to win. And I think the Celtics are going to win. That has nothing to do with Luka. I know you want it to be about Luka, but it has nothing. Look, Luka's great. He's a walking bucket. We can admit to that. He's one of the most prolific offensive players that I've seen as I've been able to understand the NBA since as a kid. But there's a lot of firepower in Boston, man. I understand that we talk about that they hadn't gone through a gauntlet. It was somewhat easy because everybody was magically getting hurt right before they play them. Or
what are you implying? They hired a hitman?
No, magically though, right? It was like, as soon as they get ready to play them, they play a game, then they hurt. You know, whether it was Jimmy Butler in Rozier, whether it was Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland or Halliburton, it was just everything. And then if they'd have played the Knicks, that whole team fell apart. I get it, I understand that. But they're so good on both ends of the floor, all 5 on the floor, all 7 on the floor, 8 on the floor. That's how deep they are, where you feel like, or they feel like, even I feel like watching, you got Tatum and Brown, you got, and I'm assuming Porzingis is coming back. You got 7 days, you say, Skip, before they play again?
Yeah, but they've had 10-ish. Right?
Okay, so 10-ish, and plus the time he's been out, he's been rehabbing. So you got Porzingis, you got Derek White, Drew Holiday. Then you get onto the bench, you got little Pritchard running around and Hauser. I mean, you just got, it's just like a lot of depth that they have that they can switch off. There's 3 guys that I can think of, maybe even 4 guys on their starting unit that can guard Luka if they need to at any moment in time. Maybe not the entire stretch of the game, picking him up from one end to the next, whatever, but they can go and switch off many different ways. That, to me, is going to be an issue for the Mavs. Plus, they got assassins on their side that can shoot deadly at any moment in time, too. I know we give Tatum's getting a lot of heat because he's been to the conference finals many times and they went to the final and lost, and he's the face of the team, and people act as though he can't play basketball at times, which isn't true. And we anointed him at a certain level. And now all of a sudden Jaylen Brown is something different. And so you start looking at that and you say, okay, let's cancel those 2 out with those 2. Now let's look at the rest of the roster. It doesn't match up for the Mavs the way that it does for the Celtics. And look, I hate Boston as an organization because I'm a Laker. But as far as the players go, I can't hate them. I like their style, I like what they do. And you know I like Jaylen Brown because he got that grit in him. He just does. And so they're going to be up against it. And you're right, I am picking the Celtics, no question about it.
Okay.
I went the long way, but I'm picking the Celtics.
But you're picking lesser of evils because now you're on Paul's side, right?
Well, no, I'm really rooting for the players. I'm a player guy. I'm rooting for the players. I can care less about Paul and the Celtics. That's over with. Paul is one of my childhood friends. I'm rooting for Tatum to get the monkey off his back in the negative stuff that comes his way. Okay? I'm rooting for Jaylen Brown because here it is again. I got another guy that is like an Ant-Man letting you know, hey, man, he didn't say it. He just kind of letting you know that I didn't get my fair share. I hadn't been voted on the All-NBA or defensive team. And y'all keep voting for people, that's one-way players. That's
that's all defense. That's literally what the team is for.
Right?
No, because I don't have a vote.
Oh, you have a vote.
I don't have a vote. People like this, they got votes. But no, in all seriousness,
am I supposed to vote for a 2-way player?
No, I'm just messing with you. In all seriousness,
it's a one-way award.
In all seriousness, though, they're just deeper.
Yeah,
they're just deeper.
I think that's a big key. Look. It was huge for Dallas to be able to wrap up that series last night because they are a little banged up also, right? Luka in particular, it's amazing what he's doing, but he legitimately, you can see him favoring the other leg. He has a knee injury. He has an ankle injury.
We even got a little blood last night.
Yeah, look,
we got a little knee blood.
Did you get blood?
Yes, there was knee blood last night.
It's not being used as an excuse, Keyshawn.
I'm not saying it is.
And he's still dropping
the only reason why I make the face, Rachel, is because everybody at this time of year got something wrong.
But he's their best player, and he needs the rest, and he needs the recovery time. So I think that was important, and that will impact how Dallas approaches this series. But Dallas will have to play the best it has ever played to even really have a shot here. Because, Key, you are absolutely right. Boston is a deeper team from start to finish. And I think the defense is really where the key is here. He's still going to be the best player in the series, Luka, and you could actually see him inviting the press a little bit last night.
So you think you're willing to say he's going to be the best player in the series?
So let me explain my point on the defensive
go ahead.
end.
Go
All right.
ahead.
You could see him inviting the press a little bit last night, and that was interesting to me because I think that is how the Celtics are going to play him. I think they will put him up full court a lot of the time. And you are absolutely right. They have 3 individual defenders who are elite. Elite. 2 of them made the all-defensive team. 1 arguably should have. And while they have played teams with great team defense, Minnesota, obviously a great defensive team. Oklahoma City, really a good defensive team. But they don't have those individual guys who can go toe-to-toe with Luka the way these guys can.
Although, listen, Lou Dort is pretty good. But anyway, go ahead.
I still think
he is.
Luka will flourish in this series. I do think, I'm not saying he's going to perform the best and have the best numbers at the end.
I understand.
But I will tell you that I think Luka is the most talented player going into this series. I think he is the one who can take a game and affect it more than anyone else who will be on that floor. But it is not always true that the team with the best player wins the series, and not when Boston is this deep. Because, look, Dallas's own defense, which has been elite for the past couple months, they're really based on packing the paint, right? And that paid off in a lot of these series they played in the West. That's not going to pay off against Boston. Boston took and made the most three-pointers of any team in the league this year.
I'm not sure if that's great or bad.
Well, look, it's great.
Because they live and die on that.
They do, but it's great. First of all, made, though, also. Not just took, but made the most of anyone in the league. It's great if you're playing a team that, at least thus far, doesn't have his defensive schemes hooked up for that. So I think that will also be a challenge for Jason Kidd. I just think that when you look at this team from top to bottom, you can also say that this is a bunch of experienced guys who are ready.
And they big, too. They're not small.
No. The entire team is big. They are ready. Your Jayson Tatum point is absolutely true. He has been hearing it for years now. He is ready to face that and win this title. And with the Mavericks, you've got a team that really just had to fight its way through the Western Conference Finals. And this group, it's the first time they're going to be there. It's Luka's first NBA Finals. I just think that all of that comes into play.
Okay, so I'm hearing Celtics in 6. Is that where you're going?
I would say 6
or 5. Are you going 5?
No. I have to see the games before I can say if I reduce it from 6.
That's not how we do things.
No, that's how I would do it.
Okay.
I'm saying right now, today, Skip 6.
6.
I need to see how they play in game 1 before I reduce it.
Yeah, okay.
If they play sluggish, I may increase it to 7. Or I may reduce it to 5. Or if they blow them out, I may just say, here come the broom.
Okay.
I got to see it. Okay. But right now, 6, to be fair.
So we're going chalk, rock, chalk, Jayhawk. Where's Paul when we need him, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Yes.
Paul would pick the Celtics, too.
I'm saying, I'm kidding.
Paul probably on his way to Boston.
As much of a contrarian as he is, he would 1,000%.
That is a fact.
Yes.
That's the one uncontrary topic that he has is Celtics, anything Celtics. Okay, I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by saying I really like these Celtics. I like all of them. I think they're all really, really high character, good people, all of them. There's not one that I say, I detest that guy or I can't stand that guy. All of them, highest character, starting with Jayson Tatum. And when we talk about face of the league, off the court, listen, you can't get better than Jayson Tatum. As a really good young man. That's just me, okay? And all of them. Drew Holiday is one of my all-time favorite players just because he's got, you want to talk about guts and grit and championship mettle. He is made of the right...
You know where he's from, Skip. Okay.
I got it. And his family is a basketball family top to bottom. And Derek White, who I came to love when he was a Spur, he just knows how to play basketball, and he'll give you every ounce, every night of what he's got. And he knows how to defend as much with his mind as his body. And Al Horford's been there, it feels like, for 35 years, but he just knows how to play, and he makes big shots for them. When the game's on the line and he gets the ball over there in the corner, I'm like, that's good. Yeah. You just know he's going to make one of those shots.
Rudy Gobert, scary.
No, you're not getting that. I give you all of the above. Now I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to pick Dallas in 7 games, okay? I'm going Dallas winning Game 7 at Boston. And I'm going to first quibble with your points that you make about Boston is deeper. I can't even fathom how you can think Boston is deeper than Dallas. Because coming off their bench, I'm looking at Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard.
Hauser, man.
Okay,
and
really?
Pritchard, they little scrappies.
Okay, are they really?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And where else are we going?
What's the difference between them and T.J. McConnell? They the same type of players. They run around and same thing. You were thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I think they're deeper in their top 6.
Okay, I'll give them in their top 5 because their starting 5
it'll be 6
is really
Porzingis.
because he's coming back and then Horford. Okay. Maybe, but Luke Cornett from Vanderbilt University, I'm like, no. I mean, he doesn't scare anybody. I'm sorry. They don't. Those 3 guys I just named, the scrappy guys, they don't scare anybody.
But they're not playing 25 minutes, though, Skip.
Okay,
they're giving you 10 minutes.
But think about this. Derek Lively is coming off the bench, so I'm going to count him as a bench player.
Sure.
And every time I see Jaden Hardy, I say, look at him, because he was a G League star. And help me out. Keyshawn, did you watch him? Because every time he stepped on the floor against Minnesota, great things started happening because he is not afraid.
He was playing like 7 minutes a game.
Okay, but he is wildly talented and no fear.
That's fine, but he's not playing enough in the game.
He's better than Pritchard. He just is. I'll take him any day or night. And Josh Green is just a good basketball player who comes in and he's tough, the Australian kid. And there's this guy on the bench named Tim Hardaway Jr., and I don't know what happened to him, but he's deep in the...
It's called coach's decision did not play.
I know, but listen, again, these teams have played twice in the
regular season
first game. Yes, obviously.
But it was all before this lineup. All of it. Before the trade. One was before the trades, even the one after one.
But Gafford didn't play much.
I was going to say, it was before this lineup change.
Okay, but in one of those games, Tim Hardaway Jr. scored 20 because you know and I know he is highly capable of scoring 20 a game and having as hot a hand as anybody on this roster.
When was the last time he stepped on the floor, Skip?
Well, I don't know.
It's been like 3 games.
A little bit. Well, okay, but 3 games. But I'm just saying, does he have...
all of a sudden, a guy who has been sidelined...
You never know.
The coach goes say, hey, you,
is he capable? Okay, help me out. Tim Hardaway or little Peyton Pritchard? Who you like? Who you got? But I think I'll take Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, based on
Sam Hauser or Tim Hardaway Jr. I think I'll take Tim Hardaway Jr. Help me out.
I love Tim Hardaway Jr. I think that he is obviously being underutilized right now.
Yes.
But that's for a reason, right?
Okay.
He doesn't fit in to this lineup and these schemes that they're playing, and that's really the key.
All right. So here's the bigger key for me. I'm going to beat these numbers over the head because in 7 road wins for this team this year, 7 road wins, because this team is better away from home. And you can argue this is going to be the home away from home series because Boston's been a little shaky at home.
Neither one of them should play games at home.
That is correct. That is correct.
Neutral site.
Okay, Luka, check this out. In 7 road wins, he's shooting 43% from 3. But more important, they've won 5 straight on the road. And in those 5 games, he's shooting 48% from 3. That's insanely good. That's hard to beat. So Boston, over its last 3 playoff runs, is 17-14 at home, and that counts one decimated Cleveland win this year. And then game 1 against Indiana, Indiana did everything but win the game. I thought they had won the game, and they said, here, we will hand it back to you, okay? So they're barely over 500, 17-14. They are vulnerable at home. Luka is the best at their house. So I promise you, Luka can go win a game there, and I think he can win 2 games there.
But the thing is I never said that he couldn't go. The Mavs couldn't go into Boston and win a game. Yeah. They could very well go, just like the Celtics could go into Dallas and win a game. Then think about this entire playoff series. The home teams have all struggled. Look what Denver did. All home teams have struggled. They just have. For whatever reason.
Look, Luka's going to get his numbers in this series because even when he doesn't play well, he gets a triple-double. That's how good he is. So we will see high-scoring numbers from Luka on the road. Yeah. I think at home sometimes, absolutely. But how effective those minutes and points are going to be is going to change because he has not yet, in this playoffs, faced a defense as deep as Boston. And that's where some of the depth that at least I'm talking about is coming from when I talk about depth. Everyone in Boston's rotation is a plus defender. Every single one. You cannot say that about the Mavericks. And look, I sat here before the season started and said, whoever gets Drew Holiday, when it was clear he was up for trade and had already been sent to Portland, whoever gets Drew Holiday, that will swing the NBA championship.
Well, it did.
And I do still think that that will be one of the moves that swings the championship.
But I'm here to say that for much of this series, Dallas will have the 2 best players on the floor, the 2 best.
I'm not going to say that, though, Skip. How could I say that? How could you say that? How could you say that? You again.
Did you see what just happened?
Yes. But like Mama just said over here, they don't have individual defense in Minnesota. They collectively as a group have been anointed as the top defense based on their scheme. These dudes are matching up defensively. Jaylen Brown just said to us the other day.
He did.
Okay? Quietly. I'm waiting for this.
Trust me, Luka heard. He heard that.
I don't think, look, for 1 minute, do I think he didn't hear? No, I think loud, big ears. Because they going to tell him. And he going to read it. But at the end of the day, they're too deep, Skip. The reality of it is they're too deep.
Where? In their starting 5?
And they deep. They can float anybody and push anybody over there.
I don't get your definition of deep because I don't see the bench. You're just talking about the starting 5. You're talking about the versatility of the starting 5,
The
right?
6 people is deep to me.
Yeah.
I don't need coaches aren't running all the way to the bottom of the roster. They just not. They stay right there in that 6-7 spot.
I've been saying for 2 months, there's just something about this Maverick team. There's something, they have found themselves.
What's the guy we're getting ready to talk about, too?
And it starts with him, to tell you the truth.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.